What's your name? My name is Angie.
Not everyone knows the unexpressed potential of music. Therefore, that's exactly what I want to focus on. The great support that music, and more specifically the songs, can provide when we decide to learn a foreign language. Differently from what we might think, music is a language. It is an exceptional form of communication, and in this regard, the university professor Francesco Giannattasio supports the idea that music intervenes where language proves insufficient to express a field of mental life that goes beyond the potential of speech. Music, unlike a normal language, has the characteristic of being universal. It can be heard by anyone and is able to convey countless emotions. It is precisely this aspect that makes it special, because it is able to join one another, to make us smile and to comfort us when we need it. A clear example is the situation that we are living today. Italy's closed at home because of the coronavirus raises its head and looks out from the balcony to sing against fear and inspire courage, because music often can save us. Music is as powerful as a drug, and is not a joke. In fact, it has been shown that the musical stimulus produces the same effect as a psychoactive drug in our body, causing it to release dopamine into the brain. Listening to music can modulate our levels of excitement, concentration, and relaxation. And once processed the sound inside our brain, it is able to influence our emotions. However, the effects of music on the individual are not only linked to the emotions it arouses. Let's talk, for example, about the famous Mozart effect, which shows that music is closely related to learning and creativity. In a study conducted in 1993, two physicists showed that young people achieved better results in reasoning tests by listening to a particular Mozart sonata, the famous K448 piano sonata, which temporarily increased the listener's IQ by 8 points. Music, in fact, and more specifically the emotions behind it, play an important role in the life experiences of each of us, as they represent the motive behind our behavior. They form the basis of our identity, determining our choices and thinking, and also influencing our knowledge. Today, thanks to numerous studies, it has been demonstrated how important the emotional and affective aspect is in communication, in social interaction, in school learning, because it has finally been understood that the human being is a totality of rationality and emotionality, and that in this perspective it must be educated and must learn to learn. As we all know, learning a lesson or preparing an exam usually takes a little time, while just listening to a song a couple of times to capture in our minds the rhythm, the music, and also the words. This happens because emotions affect our brain. Many research reveal that there is a tendency to pay more attention to events that are appropriate to our emotional state, and consequently to learn information in tune with our emotions more easily. Thus, the emotional state can influence the cognitive processes of memory, attention, and learning. Emotions precisely attract attention. In fact, an emotionally intense event is memorized and has far more positive effects than any other event lived without an emotional involvement. So emotions play an essential role in learning, because we learn better when we are emotionally involved. For the same reason, emotions are fundamental also in the memorization process, and it is precisely this connection that gives them a crucial importance in learning. In this regard, the pedagogist and professor at Ohio State University, Edgar Dale, in 1946 understood that memory was deeply influenced by his own experiences, and declared that the full participation of the individual occurs with the involvement of all the senses. So, if music generates emotions and the emotions facilitate the process of memorization and learning, it is clear that music itself can be the best and most innovative way to learn and teach a foreign language, especially when dealing with children. It is precisely on them that I would like to dwell, because according to numerous studies and experiments, early learning of a foreign language is much more effective and productive than late learning. The same goes for music learning, especially up to the age of 8, which allows the child to develop interconnected activities such as planning and strategy, facilitates concentration, promotes cognitive and social skills, and prevents language problems. So, what could be one of the best methods to teach a child a language if not play and musical activities? In fact, these are the very tools that can bring a smile to every child's face and therefore prepare them to educational activities. The belief that teaching children a foreign language through musical activities stimulates real language learning has now been consolidated. In addition, songs prove to be capable of creating conditions of psycho-emotional tranquility, thanks to which the linguistic acquisition can take place through a self-directed willingness to learn, being therefore destined to grow and remain etched. Songs, especially in the case of foreign languages, improve phonetics, allowing the learner to assimilate and reproduce certain sounds, often different from his mother tongue. At the same time, they make it possible to work on prosody, that is to say, on the intonation given to a word when pronouncing it. In addition, the recursion of verses and rhymes present in songs facilitates their memorization, and such repetitions favor automaticity on the part of the learners. Finally, the songs are real basins of idiomatic expressions, and for this reason they become bearers of the cultural identity of the language itself. The work has been developed with the aim of bringing to light the positive but hidden components of music, and from which one can benefit in order to learn a language correctly and more quickly. Because when music and foreign language meet, both hemispheres of the brain come into play, and their combined activity is so intense as to favor the creation of new neural connections, thus creating a greater mental elasticity and a more developed brain. Music promotes certain cognitive functions, making it possible for people to develop flexible, intuitive and creative thinking, and thus personal growth. However, there are also many positive effects generated on inner well-being, and that's exactly why I will never abandon my piano.